Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhakta-vrinda. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhakta-vrinda. Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhakta-vrinda. Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhakta-vrinda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj Thakur Prabhupada ki jai, and the Lord Vaishnava ki jai, Namaskar Shri Haridas Thakur ki jai, Prem se Lord Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Radha Shri Gaur ki jai, Shri Radha Loknath Shamkund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan ki jai, Yamuna Mai Yamuna Mai ki jai, Giri Krishna Maharaj ki jai, Samahita Bhaktavan ki jai, Gaur Pranam, all glory to Sri all glory to Sri, all glory to Sri.
This is not a question of formality, this is a question of culture. Drinking, besides it's a paper cup, but I'm not drinking like this because I'm not sure a paper cup it'll trickle down here. And but first comes culture, then comes spiritual consciousness. Well, you can have a taste. Krishna gives a taste of consciousness, pure consciousness, to anybody. But then if you want to achieve it, then you have to learn the culture. You have to follow the culture also a while. How to drink, how to sit, how to walk, how to talk. There's one disciple, I don't know if I should say this. Every time I'm out, I preface some point with, I don't know if I should say it, and then I say it. There's one godbrother of mine, he's very famous in some quarters and considered an important leader and preacher and literary qualified person. He doesn't wear dhoti, doesn't wear kurta, doesn't shave his head, doesn't wear kunti mala, doesn't wear tilak. What do you think? I think he's not right. These things all help. Yes, the Krishna consciousness is the original consciousness of every living being. In the modern world, I'll say, every time I say this, that I was 26 years old, I never heard of Vedas, I never heard of Krishna, I never heard of yoga. There were some people I knew that once a week they put on tight pants and they sat like a bent this way, that way. That was what I thought. No idea. So how I came to be like this, with shaved head also. That was part of the temple. I liked it, kirtan. That was attracted to the kirtan. And then I went to the temple, and gradually I spent more and more time there until I moved in. And in the temple you have to follow all these rules. I mean, it sounds repressive to follow rules, but it's easy. These are not unnatural things. See, it's more unnatural to comb your long hair. It takes so much time, and I don't know about ladies. I see them on the balcony in the morning. They do once a week. They take what they call head bath. Actually, it's hair bath. Not they wash their hair. So, by following all these things, it facilitates the mind to be. It makes the mind rid of disturbance, especially living in an environment where everybody is following this routine, sadhana, and there's no radio, no television, so automatically that is real yoga. You become peaceful. Within a few weeks I surpassed some of these people who have been doing it for 100 years, sitting on a rock by the river. It's not my credit, it's the credit of the acharyas. This program is designed by parts of it are eternal, you see. Bhaktivinoda Thakur has mala, japa mala. They all have japa mala. Everybody has japa mala. Hanuman, Shiva, they all have japa mala. Japa is, I could go off and explain, I have a couple of times, how it is genuinely, it has a very strong neurophysiological base to chant japa. And you can look up online physiological gating. It has to do with, I have to talk to Dinesh. Dinesh has taken a job, not in a hospital, working with some IT company, AI. They're working on some programs to implant something in the brain for people who are blind, so that he can at least detect light and dark. So because he's a neurologist, he responded to their ad and he joined. So things like this, these are chanting japa. Gating means that, well, it's a little bit complicated, but the mind, the attentive, the tendency to be distracted is heavily curbed by engaging the touch and the sound and the hearing, 3 senses. It's directly wired into the body that if a number of senses are engaged in the same thing, then practically there's no possibility of distraction. It's hardwired into our bodies. Sense of touch, hearing, and sight. And it acts peripherally. There are nervous impulses that go from the brain down. And they have an effect on the amount of input. So senses that are doing something else, they're blocked effectively. So all these things I keep repeating, to wear tilak and to wear, how you dress, these are not irrelevant. They're not fanaticism or cult ideas or artificial. They're they're scientific, really scientific, as opposed to some things like now we're being controlled more and more by so-called science, climate science. You know, in the United States, I read that the government is coming down, they want to ban gas stove cooking. They can say the gas is harmful. Where people have been using gas for at least 100 years. Where's the harm? I never heard of anything. Suddenly they declare it's harmful, and they want to ban gas. Oh. They say, oh, I don't know. And then there's this so-called climate science. They say that, yes, one reason is because of carbon dioxide. They say it's a greenhouse gas, that it's going in the atmosphere, and the sun rays bounce off the earth and go up, and they bounce back from the layer of carbon dioxide, and they get trapped, and the world is heating up. It's nonsense. Where you know, it's been going on for 100 years, cooking on gas and carbon dioxide. I read in school that the plants eat it. Now it's an enemy number one. Where's the science? So it's not science. It's actually, it's not. They say follow the science. If you follow the trail to the science, you find that it's actually not science. It's tyranny. It's dictatorship. Just like, you know, like communist China, or communist Russia, or Nazi Germany. It's the same thing. They're dictating. You can't use gas without scientific basis at all. They have some scientist, who is he? Corrupt young character, just out of graduate school, and they're paying him, you know, to shut up. And there's no, or just to keep pumping out, you know, numbers which are not, you know, verifiable using, you know, actual scientific methods like statistics. There's no basis. But they filter the science journals also that publish scientific results. They're not independent. They're also controlled by certain people, and those same people have investment in the medical industry, in the scientific equipment manufacturing industry, maybe in the military. You see, the former editor-in-chief of the British Medical Journal, I forget her name, Fiona something, she said that 95% of all the articles published in the journal are useless. You should know something, isn't it? And the same, all the you know, the other scientific journals, all, and you can't get a research grant, you see, unless if you're interested. You studied climatology, or what is the field? That branch of science? Climatology, maybe. But unless you are looking for evidence that gas is harmful and that carbon dioxide is building up, they won't give you a grant. Somebody might give you a grant, but then your institution will say, no, if you're taking money from them, then you get out. We don't want you here. So the so-called scientists, independent thinking scientists, they're just like dogs. Come here, do this, do that. Nikola Tesla, he is praised as a very brilliant, independent. Yeah, he died practically of starvation. Who wants to be like him? And he had no spiritual idea. He thought just manipulate material energy and we get certain beneficial result. Einstein would say something sometimes about spiritual existence and God, at least. But he was a bit of a psychopath. He not what do you call it? He had a daughter who he effectively tortured. No, nobody knows. This is. He didn't. I don't know why he didn't want to disclose that he was a married man, so he kept his daughter hidden. So why this is so important and relevant to every one of us is because we're brought up, when you're 6 years old, your parents grab you and take you to some place. It's called a school, and you enroll, and then you go and you get a challan, you go pay the fees, and you get books and a backpack. There's no lockers in the schools here. You see these small kids carrying 25 kgs of paper on their back. It's terrible. And what do they teach them? The same stuff in childish language. So all the culture, Vedic culture, is disappearing. For the internet is good. You can get subscribe to websites, and on Facebook you can join groups that tell other things. Yesterday I read, we have the impression, correct me if it's not true, I don't think you will say anything, that in school you learn that the whole of Indian history consisted of Moguls and Turks and characters like this coming and pillaging and raping and destroying, isn't it? It's not true. There were kings, Marwai,
Rajputs, Mughals.
huh?
Rajputs.
Who? Rajput. They chased the Turks like anything. The Turks were afraid to come back again. And somebody correctly says, why is this? Because the curriculum people in Delhi, they're demons, they're atheists, communists. They're sitting there smoking cigarettes and drinking coffee and writing the syllabus. So they remove all reference to these were great Kshatriyas. Oh? The Turks were really nasty fellows, but they drove them away. And this is not in the textbooks. It was new to me also. I know something. So in this way, we see. Then we try to introduce Krishna consciousness, and it's completely foreign. Your mother, at least because somehow she's lucky, she didn't go to school. Did she go to school? She reads Prabhupada's books. When you're outside, she's sitting and reading. Good. Otherwise, who reads the books? We sell them, but we don't read them much. And nobody has idea. What is this? Mommy, make the television louder. There's some noise in the street. What is that noise? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. The dogs are barking, that they don't complain. The rickshaws are telling you to get your gas stove fixed, and